Welcome to my Hummer.
Drop it.
It's just like a ridiculous vehicle.
Is this what? Yeah. Ooh.
I could give you a hand.
It worked. I Supermaned it.
You sway around a bit. I was just...
Because the lightning. I love that that's on camera. Like, oh, that's so funny.
Head
Yeah,
rises and
his
it's like
leg
a chest
goes
goes
and the head goes back.
Yeah.
So that's exactly what I think of when you accelerate with this.
Hi, I'm Patrick,
And I'm Liv.
and this is the Mach-E vlog. But we're in this ridiculous Hummer EV SUV. So
Let's go. This video is sponsored by EV Vita, creators of mods and accessories for all EVs and exclusive resellers of best EV mod accessories with direct customer support.
with EV Vita, it doesn't just end when you get their products. They have lots of tutorials. They're very quick to answer questions. We have their products in our Mach-E and our Equinox, and we're really proud to have them as a sponsor.
We're kicking things off from this absolutely ridiculous position with me driving, mostly because Patrick has some grand plans for this vehicle. We're going to take it on the highway. We're going to take it for a little day trip, but I'm just driving this around local streets. If you don't know me, I am Liv, hello, and I'm an amputee, so I drive with my left leg crossed over. I prefer smaller vehicles. I did not think that I would be in this position in the, did we say 2025?
It's a 2025
Hummer EV SUV 3X.
3X with the Max off-road package. So we're going to keep saying ridiculous, just so you know.
I'm writing an article for a girl's guide. Yeah, and my title already in my mind is ridiculous in all the best ways. We have a lot of thoughts about this vehicle, which we're going to share with you. But I really want to kick it off with, I like small vehicles. I like nimble vehicles. This is ridiculous. I would never expect myself up here above the world. But it's kind of awesome. It's ridiculous. It's inefficient. It's ludicrous. This vehicle is just bonkers. And you honestly feel like you take up the entire road, but it's really fun. And I don't know, when we saw the Hummers at the auto show and stuff like that, and we sat in them then, I was like, this is just silly, right?
Yeah.
But then here, when you're in it on the road, it's like, you smile. It's silly fun.
We have enjoyed this way more than I thought I would.
Yeah.
And we're not going on any crazy adventures with the
No.
off-road portion. We're just going to go to the safari park of the San Diego Zoo, which seems appropriate when you have a Hummer EV.
Very much. I wish that we could actually take it on safari. But I will tell you a little bit, for me, the drive style is really comfortable. Driving with my left leg can be a little challenging. I have a drop foot, so performance vehicles can be challenging, but this has enough adaptability and enough room here that I can cross my leg over and be pretty comfortable. It's actually really quite nice. When I pull my foot off the accelerator, I get a great coast. I'm in 2-pedal mode. Patrick will be sharing with you the experience of 1-pedal mode. I prefer 2-pedal, and 2-pedal in this Hummer feels really good. We have cyclists coming up because there's like a bike trail here, and it really is ridiculous how you feel like you own the road. It's not just that it's a big vehicle, because like we've been in a Lightning, which is the same size, really. But I don't know about you, this feels like you're kind of the king of the road.
You get a lot of attention. People look at it. Of course, they're not. Look at the vehicle.
Yeah.
But
But there was as we were parked about to get started, someone was walking, and like literally their head was just turned this way the entire time. When we first got this vehicle, we took it to the park where we take photos, and I think it was 3 people stopped us.
Yeah, within like 15 minutes. 3 people.
We're like, we have to go now because we will literally just be here talking and not actually getting photos. So It's eye-catching, it's fun, it's ridiculous, and it's really fun to drive. It's really fun to drive.
Yeah.
It's weird.
And you know, Liv mentioned the reason why we're in the neighborhood and she's starting off first is like she takes it slow, learning any of these EVs that we're trying out.
That guy's smiling so
yeah.
big.
So it's, you know, we usually come to a nice quiet neighborhood. It's a quiet neighborhood on a Sunday. As you can see, there's like cyclists and things like that we got to worry about. But if you are new to EVs, new to a vehicle, this is the best way to do it, especially the one pedal driving. She has it turned off because that's her preference. So if you're trying one pedal driving, find a nice quiet neighborhood. But yeah.
And this is one of the bigger vehicles that I've personally driven. And every time we drive a big vehicle, I feel like, for me at least, because I'm not super comfortable with that. I don't know about you guys. You'll have to let us know if big vehicles or small vehicles are your jam. But it can feel like a lot of heft to be maneuvering. So it's always an interesting experience and trying parking and taking your time, especially for me with my situation. But this vehicle is strangely quick for you to get used to because I think of the rear wheel steering is insane. It's insane. It's so beautifully tuned in this. And we're a giant box in the middle of the road. Like you can see everything. So as huge as you are, you really get this feeling of like a weird feeling of nimbleness or responsiveness, which is strange, and a feeling that you can see everything. So like sometimes when I'm driving a really big vehicle and I try to park it the first time, I don't feel very good about it. But this rear wheel steering, it is effortless. You will instantly pivot into spots. You can turn anywhere. It's really strange and it's really cool. Like, and this is a vehicle that really needs it, I think.
There's a lot of cyclists.
A ton of cyclists. Doesn't it make you want to go on the road now, on the trail?
You take a bike ride, but
yeah, and they're all staring. Anyways, do you think there's anything else I should share with our viewers? Or?
We can head to the zoo. I'll take over and you can still share your opinion. And we'll talk about the exterior and all of that, but we'll talk about our driving impressions from the past few days and some of the fun that we had with it.
Yay. Oh, we did have a lot of fun. Freaky fun. I wish we'd done some sort of snap, but here we are.
We are on our way to the zoo. So we'll get to just chat with you about our experience the past few days and what it's like to drive this. We haven't taken it on like a little curvy 2-lane road, but that's what this is going to be. And then we'll get on I-15 and try out Super Cruise. But what Liv was saying about it feeling nimble, it's like it is sort of, a couple of weeks ago we were in a Honda Prologue and it's just slightly bigger than our Mustang Mach-E, but it felt way bigger. This feels way smaller than what it looks like on the outside. It's just, part of it is the rear wheel steering. Part of it is like you're high up. So it's just a unique, interesting experience. And we're going to be behind a slow vehicle on the 2-lane road. Oh, well.
This is what happened last time too, actually. Yeah, this car feels like a weird contradiction because it's ludicrously large and upright and takes the whole road and you're above the road and all that, and feels smaller and more nimble. I don't know if there's a better word because it's certainly not like tiny feeling, but it feels nimble. It feels like you can spring around.
It's been way easier to park this than say a Lightning
so weird.
Or even a Rivian. So, you know, if you're worried about the size of it, it looks massive on the outside, and we'll do a walk around it a little bit. But inside it feels spacious as well, but like maneuvering it feels really good. Being on a little 2-lane road like this, even though we're behind somebody slow, it still feels really nice. Very easy to maneuver. I have it like in my mode. It doesn't have like a sport mode. It's sort of like off-road mode, towing, normal, and then like my mode, which my mode, I basically have everything normal, but I turned off the sounds of the motors.
Turn them down.
Turn them down. Yeah, turn them down.
They don't go off.
Which is an interesting thing. But overall, yeah, I've really enjoyed driving this. And we keep saying ridiculous, and it's because like it's just like a ridiculous vehicle. Because like when you step on it, it just launches so quickly.
There's this meme of a dog that the owner is telling to stay, and then when they say come, the dog just jets off. And that's exactly what I think of.
His head rises. And
his
it's like
legs go
chest goes
first and the
forward.
head goes back.
Yeah.
So that's exactly what I think of when you accelerate with this. Obviously, Patrick's going to do the ultimate on-ramp. Hopefully, we won't have this truck in front of us when we do it.
Forget about the on-ramp.
Yeah, that will be the literal, dog with its head thrown back. But if we find that, we'll add that because it's literally what it feels like. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it just feels like you're just like launching forward, and that's because of it has so much suspension travel, but it adds to the effect. And we've driven a lot of EVs in the past year and reviewed them, and I know this is going to be like a crazy comparison, but the other one that had as much fun factor to just driving it was the Fiat 500e.
Yeah.
So the complete opposite scale of size-wise was that, and it was a lot of fun because it's like so little itty-bitty, but this is like big, but it just, if it's fun to just drive. It's relatively easy in comparison terms to like big vehicles in parking lots and whatever. But then it just feels like just so much fun. Driving around, getting so much attention, and like we have these cool things that we haven't even really messed around with. The fact that it can convert to a convertible is just so cool. Like I love these roof panels. They're tinted blue, which seemed odd, but it's like it puts a really nice tint on things. I thought it might have make us look and feel blue, but it seems great. There is a bit of noise, like you hit some of these bumps and stuff like that, and you can hear some like rattles and whatnot, and you get a little bit more exterior noise, I believe. But I think the biggest noise that we get from this is like these massive off-road tires, and when we get on the freeway, we'll like let you we'll turn off all of our sound correction that we put on our microphones, and we'll just like let you hear the noise from the tires when you get up to speed.
Yeah, you definitely notice, because just talking and having a conversation, when you're in an EV, you get used to talking at the same volume and being able to hear each other. But this is certainly louder when you're going full speed on the highway. Right now, it's fine. But you'll definitely notice it. I know we do. The sound system is great though, so that helps out. But you're not going to be in a quiet, cozy cabin. You're in a big honking monster on top of the world. And just to add on, that's a great comparison with this and the Fiat 500e, because they're both a little ridiculous and a little niche. Like the Fiat 500e is just a little ridiculous in how small it is, but it's niche to people who want that. And this is a little ridiculous with how large it is, but it's certainly a niche vehicle, and the people who want this are gonna have the best time. You can't not smile, even though I was not expecting to. Like, I'm not the demographic.
By the way, I think this is another funny thing. The 3 windshield wipers it's just funny to me, and it's because it's
enormous,
narrow and wide. So I think it's really funny because, like, Cybertruck and some others, they have like massive windshield wipers, massive amount of glass. This is just like this little tiny bit, but it requires 3 windshield wipers.
And it's proportion-wise really enormous in this front cabin too, because just like I'm sure you guys can see this, if I want to pull the sunshade down, which I can't do because the GoPro's there, I actually have to like kind of lean forward to do that. Like,
I can reach it well, but it's also we noticed this the other day. They feel like miniature, but it's like it can't really go down much further because then
the dash is a little high. Yeah. It's a high dash, but it doesn't feel like you can't see the road, obviously in part because of the size. But sometimes there are vehicles that the high dash makes it feel like you're sort of like looking over it. You know what I mean? Wow, there's a lot of food vendors out here in the street.
Yeah, very cool. I think it's tacos. I think I've seen them at one of the food festivals. But
oh, cool.
Anyways, driving wise and like acceleration and stuff, this thing feels really good. The sometimes in the EVs, it's almost like unnatural in the way it accelerates and brakes. This feels very good overall. I'm
We're
just gonna
about
go.
to do an on-ramp, and there's that, and there's the
Didn't
car.
even really get up to speed. That was interesting because I'm sure the camera sort of slid sideways as we were getting up to speed. Accelerating at an angle with this thing, you feel the weight of it. It's over 9,000 pounds. So, I mean, you guys, it's pretty obvious this thing weighs a ton. The battery size is like 170 kilowatt hours. So, excuse me while I merge this beast onto the freeway. So it's a massive battery. Our efficiency, I finally figured out, there's so many options on the screen, but it's so far, and we've done a bit of freeway driving, around town driving.
We went up to LA.
Yeah, so that's a lot of freeway. 1.4 miles per kilowatt hour, and now we're getting a lot of that tire noise I was talking about. But for a big vehicle this size, driving up to LA was fairly easy because you can see here, I just turned on Super Cruise. Unlike Blue Cruise, Super Cruise only works on pre-map roads. Blue Cruise, the hands-free, works only on pre-map roads, but I can use hands-on, like even on that little curvy road that we were on. Not that I would necessarily want to, but that's an interesting difference between Super Cruise and Blue Cruise. Super Cruise did an excellent job. It has automated lane changes if I want, so I could just basically turn it on and it will change lanes if somebody's going slower and it sees an empty lane. I actually turned that off. I rather initiate it on my own with just a blinker. So if I tap the blinker, we're going to do a nice little lane change here. Nice and smooth. Oh, it just disengaged. I think it's having trouble seeing the lines.
We have a hard time in this area sometimes because of the sun glare.
Yeah,
because the lines.
The sun is like, I can see it up there, but it re-engaged after it figured things out. But it didn't have too many like disengagements. And one thing that I do like about the way it disengages, this is flashing red. It's very much in my sight line, but the seat vibrates as well. So it does a lot of feedback with vibrations in the seat.
And when you say this, what are you pointing at?
Well, I pointed right here. Yeah,
okay.
they can see it in this.
Okay, good.
So yeah, it's the vibration of the seat is really effective, and it even does it so like as I'm backing up the other day, I was getting close to I feel uncomfortable. Oh, it disengaged again. But I was getting close to a sign, and the seat like vibrated, and it vibrated a little bit more intensely. So I like that type of feedback because it's very very prominent in my sensory field. So it's sort of like it really got my attention. But yeah, now it completely disengaged, and I'm just driving. And every ADAS system that we've tested can have issues if the sun's hitting it at the right angle. This is pretty high for it to be affecting it, but so far the past few days, it's done an excellent job. Unfortunately, we're just happen to be heading so that it's getting some sun glare for whatever reason. Let me see if I can turn it back on. Yep. Okay. Turned it back on. It's no big deal. And now I can see the lines a lot more clearer. So.
And our usual drive from our house in Oceanside up to Santa Ana, how did it perform on that stretch of road that you've done every other car in?
Almost identical. It did cancel in the construction zone like we just had there a couple of times, where Blue Cruise 1.0 would cancel in that same area. Blue Cruise 1.3 handles that. So, I don't know. It was very, very similar. This is the closest to Blue Cruise that I've experienced. So.
And we went up there in another Super Cruise vehicle. Was it the Bolt EUV?
We didn't go all the way up there. We went down to Carlsbad with it.
Right. Okay.
But overall, I think this is actually doing, like, it's a better road tripper than what I would have imagined because it handles, Super Cruise so well. Just cruising is very comfortable. More like a nice comfy living room. The chairs are very comfortable. It's like a rugged, durable. I was sort of trying to think of the words for this, and I was like, it's like a luxury rugged or rugged luxury interior.
Yeah, I mean, the closest thing would be the Rivian, really. There's the brushed metal that you see in the Rivian as well. There are multiple textures which feel adventure focused. Like, I'm trying to remember because, like, Kyle in his video, he said CrossFitter. He like references a CrossFitter in Miami, and it makes me think of the CrossFitter when we used to do CrossFit, like the paracord stuff and that nylon. So it very much does feel like that kind of texture.
Well,
the seats have that.
Little bits about the trim, like having the like like metal angle, like a nuts and bolts and things like that, and
it's excessively like it seems like excessively digital focused, but like military imitation, like a video game. Like everything looks like activate control panel. Yeah.
It reminds me of like a video game.
Totally.
Like one of those sniper video games, and it's like, oh, let me hit my.
Yeah, and the way that this is like control panel engaged, up, down, and like even the way that it animates. Should we show them the stuff now or while we're stationary?
We can do a little bit of it now. I don't like showing too much while we're driving, but.
And I do want to say one thing quickly is, can we do a second without the sound?
Oh yeah, let's
dampening. And now this is us talking without any sound dampening.
Yeah.
As well. Like, can you hear the difference?
And we literally paused a second ago because I'm like, you got to talk up because I'm having trouble hearing you.
So this is us talking normally. And then now this is us without sound dampening and all that stuff. So now you know like what it sounds like. It's not an ICE vehicle. I mean, I'm sure an ICE Hummer would be crazy in comparison.
And so I don't like doing a lot of stuff with the screen while we're driving and trying to demo it. But I think it is a very good thing to remember, like when people are reviewing things, it's one thing to sit there and play with the screen when you're in a parking lot. But like when I'm like, I need to do things, I need to be able to quickly tap it. For the most part, it's fairly intuitive. We have it in dark mode right now. We probably should switch it to light mode because it feels better. Yeah. But either way, it's sort of.
I did not like the way the light mode looked.
Yeah.
At all.
And part of it is the gray scale stuff. Like I wish it had brighter colors because then that makes it easier as I'm driving. I have Android Auto up, which by the way, Android Auto / Apple CarPlay work in this, even though like in the Chevy Blazer, for example, you can't do that. This does allow for that. GMC is still allowing for that. Oh, it's a bit wobbly.
Yeah, that was wobbly, and there's that big truck next to us.
Well, it's like I think it's struggling to see the lines.
Yeah.
But overall, it's like it has Android Automotive. So I'm in Android Auto. I'm going to change lanes because.
Didn't like that. That's not great.
Yep, it just lost it.
Don't love that. And if it loses it, you feel it more because you're so big and upright, and the suspension's pretty high right now, huh?
Yeah. You sway around a bit. Going to show like I can go into Google Maps that's built into the car, but because it's Android Automotive, I can switch back over here, go to Android Auto. And then I have, this is coming from my phone and has my directions. I wish I could do a little bit more and be logged in, but we actually don't have the login. So I would love to not even touch Android Auto, but because this is a loaner vehicle, we don't have 100% access. But I could imagine just sticking within the native system because it seems really nice and good. You can load apps from the Google store. So like if you want Spotify, if you want YouTube music, you can load those and log in, and it works out pretty well. Some of the buttons down here are interesting because like if I want to change the seats, it's like it takes a little bit more effort because I got to go like here, I want the seat cooler on. So
I haven't even done that.
Yeah, it's like the buttons are like part of it is like hidden until I tap one other button. I'm going to turn that off actually.
The animations are quite cool though. As you can see, it like plays into that whole sort of I don't know, military style video game.
By the way,
shade is nice.
Sorry to interrupt, but that just freaked me out because I was paying attention, but I looked down and then I looked up for a second. We were drifting into the other lane. Super Cruise was still on, but it was because the lane markings were confusing. It had those like cuts in the road or whatever. So luckily there was nobody there. I mean, if there were somebody there, it would have like stopped me from hitting them. But the fact that it let me drift into the other lane was like, oh no.
That's very disconcerting.
So I quickly turned my blinker on and it was fine. But
side note, I think we should do a video in the Mach-E doing Blue Cruise 1.3 in these conditions. Because like I think this is common. And interestingly, there's I-70 in Colorado. You were telling me they have shutdown hours because of glare.
Sun glare. They literally close I-70 eastbound into Denver because the sun glare at certain months, at certain times of the day, early morning, the sun is so bad they literally have to shut down the freeway because there's been so many accidents.
Isn't that crazy? So like this is a realistic situation, that kind of glare and the impact on these systems and on the road. And so that's an important thing to consider and an important test to put our systems through, our ADAS stuff through, because we can't necessarily just ding that knowing that there's a whole highway that gets shut down for that, right? So, but we should test Blue Cruise as well in that. I know we've done it, but
any system that's doing based on cameras is going to struggle in that environment. So it's like, it's not necessarily like, oh gosh, Super Cruise is not, it's like they all can struggle in those environments. And to be honest, it's like, I'd rather for it to cancel than to try to overdo it and go like, hey, I got this. And you know, you hit something. So
yeah,
I'm sort of glad we're getting off of the freeway because it's so noisy.
Loud. It's really loud.
Hopefully our audio is okay from all of that. And here's something else that I wanted to bring up. There are some negatives to this vehicle, but I think it's sort of like you go into it knowing there are negatives. And I used to joke because I had a Subaru WRX, and I'm like, it came installed from the factory to have like rattles and creaks and stuff like that. It was sort of like part of owning a Subaru WRX, you know. And with this, it's like it has the giant off-road tires, it has the T-tops, the suspension is soft. There's not like a sport mode like there is on like with the Rivian. But I'm like, I think if you come into this vehicle, hopefully you're prepared for all of that, because that's basically it's the whole package.
I think you know what you're getting when you get this. And welcome to Escondido. Brr, 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 brr. Had to do it. Something you were saying earlier that like it's really easy to park, which it is. Like my first try, full perfect, easy to park, but it's not necessarily easy to exit from in a parking lot because you are taking up the whole spot. So me, I have the handicap placard, handicap plates. I have a lot of extra room. If you
still tight.
Huh?
It was still tight.
It was still tight. It was still tight, like taking up the whole. Oh, that's so funny. That's so funny. We're gonna go.
The turn there.
Oh, you weren't?
Oh, I don't think so. Yeah. I don't know.
Now we need to find a place to show you crab walk and just the turning radius on this, because it's absolutely bonkers. It's just bonkers. But yeah, so keep in mind that it will be harder to get out of a parking space. If someone's parked next to you and you're like me and you need room to open your door really wide, that's not going to happen.
Ooh, that might have been, oh no, too small. We're looking for a place to do some more checking out.
Yeah. Welcome to my Hummer. I don't know what we would call it if
And this San Diego Safari.
Oh, the San Diego Zoo Safari Park. We didn't know what it would be like here, so we were driving through the area, and the parking lot out here is actually really spacious. So it's like you're coming to the zoo with us, which is super appropriate for this giant vehicle, which has the extra off-road package. I can't remember. Was it like $1,800 or was it
No, it's
Wait, 18,000?
no, it's like 10,000 more.
Yeah. So there's a whole bunch that makes this off-road capable, but I'm standing in the front, so I'm going to show you exactly what's in front of me for now. This insane light bar with
Can I
Hummer.
turn it on? Let's see if I can unlock and turn on the light bar. You can't really see it. We got some photos. Oh, there we go.
There we go. You can see even in daylight, Hummer EV. Unashamed, unabashed. Everything about this honker is huge and chunky. Does this come just with the off-road package, Patrick? Do you know?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure off-road package, and then this one has the like nice red, burnt orange red accents on those, as well as like the logo over here as well.
Yeah, I'd say burnt orange is red, burnt orange. But we had this vehicle at the perfect time. Halloween time. This is a ridiculous car. And when I said that we got a little freaky with the frunk,
Let's see how long it takes you to find it. No,
yeah, oh, there it is. I got cocky because it took me so long it took both of us so long to figure out where that was in the beginning. Very hidden frunk button there. Did you unlock?
Yeah, it's unlocked.
Okay. Come on, open for me. Open says me.
There it goes.
There we go. So, love a frunk, and we got really freaky with this frunk because we got to have frunk or treats. We had 2 frunk or treats with this, and it did not disappoint. Now, unfortunately, the power, what was it? There's no power in the front.
There's no power in the front. So I was looking all around. There's no power. There's some hooks. So like if you need to like tie things down.
We stuck skeleton claws on those.
By the way, these are the like protective covers. So when you take the T-tops off, you can store them in those bags. And that's the power.
This is a level 2.
EVSE. So
yeah.
So yeah, it basically very, very simple right there. But yeah, I was surprised there's no power in the frunk, as well as like there's no like overhead lighting, because I wanted to turn on the lighting because as it got really dark, the kids were not finding the candy, and I'm like, it's right here. So I would turn on the light bar, and that sort of helped. But
that would have been extra fun. Yeah. So it's weird that there's no power.
And that's the only light, of course, you know. But it's like I would love to have one up here.
Yeah, and we totally made an assumption. There's no way to close this other than to hit the button again. Of course, you can close it, I assume, in the app and in the vehicle and on the keys.
Right, yeah. So there's several ways to close it.
There's several ways, but there's no like other tangible button than that. Love to have powered feature though. So why don't we walk around and look at some other cool features.
Including these giant tires,
and
18-inch
how sparkly
rims.
This is.
And I believe it's 35-inch tire size. But they're just massive. And of course, now you can see why there's so much road noise. And then Liv was talking about the sparkly here. So that sparkle comes around even to like the front bumpers as well. And then, you know, I thought this was just a flat paint color, but there is some metallic in it that you can see up close.
Gosh, it's really, really mild.
Really subtle, but it looks great.
You're right, metallic, is that what it's called?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think another odd thing is like there's a lot of like space and moon references, including on the grill of the door.
And well, let's show you all the way in the rear. Come on back here. We got the most enormous spare tire.
Yeah, if you want a full-size spare, there you go.
It's right here. So it's really cool that how great this is to open, but you got to beware. We just breezed past a bush right there, so make sure you have lots of room here. It's so high up, but it does make me think that like if someone is in a mobility device, is that really helpful? Like that might be really helpful, but then again, it's so high up, so
it is very high here.
And we could lower it. But the topographical, the whole moon reference as well is of course present over here in like that.
It's supposed to be like a lunar
landscape.
And I'll show you one other one when we get in. There, as you can see, there is power here. There is some power, you know, an outlet up there. There's not a 240 volt outlet, which is a bit surprising. And then underneath, I thought there might be a lot of storage, and it's barely any at all.
That's heavy.
So yeah, it is a bit heavy. So it is a bit surprising. By the way, this rear glass does come down. There's a button where you can put all the windows down, including the rear glass, or you can do the rear glass individually as well.
Love to have powered retraction,
rear seat release.
rear seat. Oh, there you go. Flap. I love it when they flap.
And you were doing that, and I'm like, I hope I moved the camera back.
Oh,
It's good.
me too. Obviously, we got to go and grab it if we want to pick it up, though. But I feel like you'd be comfortable if you are our height or even 6 foot.
Okay,
This
hold
looks
it.
long.
Hold it.
Oh, are you gonna get in?
Yeah, I was like,
Oh, great.
not hold it as in
Oh
stop.
yeah, I thought it was like pause.
Nope.
In you get. I'm too lazy for this. Oh.
So I'm 5'6". So that's a 5'6". Oh, that is really nice. Of course, it's, I'd want some cushion here, but having like a nice little portal to watch the stars would be really cool. So this is pretty comfortable, and it's truly flat. Sometimes they say it's a flat floor.
It doesn't look totally flat.
It's not.
but
Yeah,
close, yeah.
I mean, it is a slight slant to it, but there isn't like a big bump in the middle when they say it's
Here,
flat.
hold this.
It's
I'm
not.
coming in.
Oh, you're coming in?
I'm coming in.
Oh,
Get back there.
Well, we're going to turn around and watch you climb in, because
Oh no.
what else is more
Wait,
elegant?
how am I gonna get in? There's nowhere to grab. This is not. Is this what? Hi, yeah. Ooh. Wait, no. Hi. Wait,
Yeah, I think you got to Superman it.
I do. Do I? Do I need a Superman?
No, I could give you a hand.
It worked. I Supermaned it. Okay. I want to see what this is like. Oh yeah. Now imagine with the roof taken off.
Yeah,
yeah.
that's pretty cool. Well, there's the sun. So anyways, yeah.
I see what you mean, that it feels like you're probably like right in my face. It
Yes.
does feel like you're totally flat. Like this would be a nice camper.
Yeah, and of course, there's some more room up here that you could actually utilize if you filled in the gap or whatever, but okay.
Good night. Ta-da! That was very elegant. Yeah.
You should have seen her. She just like gracefully.
I did. I sprung
jumped
out. But I love that the close button
You're
is
getting ready to
also
get
powered.
squished.
So.
Run. All right, now let me show you inside a little bit
Yeah.
up here. So, it's I locked it. Whoops. We're so elegant on all of our YouTube videos, right? To put the seats up, it is manual. Always want to make sure you pull the seat belt out of the way, but it's actually pretty heavy.
That's a
That
great
was
sound.
probably real loud. Can you look at how much room there is? Again,
Crazy.
5'6" in the front. So even if I scooted back or whatever, there would still be a ton of room, decent amount of headroom back here. You have
There's a ton of controls here.
yeah, you have your climate controls back here. So you got temp, fan, but you also have manually controlled vents. They're pretty small back here, but USB-C, USB-A, and a little bit of extra storage. So if you wanted to like maybe put your phone or snacks down there. And then there is another outlet way down here as well.
Is that a 110?
Another 110.
Cool.
Otherwise, it's just fairly comfortable here. The glass roof, you have a little bit of vision because it's the support structure is here. You don't have like as much of a glass roof effect. But the cool thing is like if you wanted to go a little bit open air, you could take these two off and leave the front ones on.
Ooh.
So if you didn't want as much wind like on your hair if you're in the front, or vice versa, so it's like you can sort of set it up however you want. You can just take off one if you want. So pretty comfortable. I do like, it is a bit of a hard vehicle to get into, but it does have the running boards as well as like nice grips to get in everywhere except for the rear, we just found out. But
Could really use them in the rear.
yeah.
Like Patrick said, it's really nice to have the grab handles, I guess we're calling. I really like the traditional door handles as well, easy to open. But you have two options when you get in to grab on the actual door itself or on the A-pillar. I like both, and I find that when I grab on the door, I step with my left foot, and then I grab the A-pillar, and then I'm in. This is like my strategy. I don't know why I'm showing the whole strategy, but to someone this might be interesting. So when I get out, I kind of do the same. But another option, if you can see, is I also just grab the A-pillar. It's so useful to just have it, and then you can sort of like swing in.
And I think that's what I do.
Is that what you do?
Yeah.
But I'm glad that this is here. And then I find like getting out, it can be a challenge to get in and out. And like it can be it's just easier to drop into a car, to drop into a sedan, or to just like lean back into an SUV. So at least for me, with foot differences, there's always something to consider when getting in that's just a little more. But they've taken care of you as much as possible, and this is super great, both of these.
And it does lower slightly.
I think we're low right now.
Yeah, it's a little low right now.
You know what I mean?
I'm gonna get in and you can show off the interior.
Let's do it.
As promised, I said I'd show you some more of the moon references. So there's like an astronaut footprint, and
alien.
Alien, maybe an alien. So anyways, yeah, this is in the speaker in the front door, Bose sound system. Let me go ahead and close this up, hand this to Liv. But yeah, we won't go over all of this because you got to see a lot of it while we were driving. But
ooh.
Yeah, some of the animations and stuff are really slick. I really like some of those things, but again, I'm not a real big fan of some of the graphics in here. Lots of colors here with our warning lights. I just wish there was more color over here.
Why don't we switch to the white just to show everyone what it looks like?
All right, let me find it real quick.
While Patrick is doing that, I will show there's the digital rear view mirror, which is really helpful. The only time that I thought about switching it off was when I wanted to talk to the camera, which is directly behind it. Actually, can you switch it, Patrick?
Yeah.
So, there's Patrick's face. Hello.
Oh, okay, I was like, wait,
yeah,
I can't see anything.
But it's really nice and quite useful. Did you find it?
Yeah, I found it. I want you to, like, when I hit day, how it converts from night to day. It's actually really cool animation. That's pretty cool.
Actually, let's get an uppy closey as well. Here you go.
So we'll switch back and forth a couple of times. Phone. Yeah, but over here, the driver's screen is really cool. It's like the shadows are shifting from night to day. So I really
shadows
like
on the moon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then, we're going to go back over here, and this is what I was sort of talking about, like very monotone for the most part, except, the Amazon and the GMC logos. But like quickly, it'd be nice to have a little bit more color in this. But
like a green in the energy or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's, fairly responsive, and then at times really laggy when switching between stuff. So the software is good, could be better, could be less laggy. Overall, this is like just, fairly standard, like GM type steering wheel setup with your basically music and, whatever controls over here, voice commands over on the right, your ADAS over on the left, and behind it has quick access buttons so you can change the volume or skip tracks in whatever you're listening. So fairly standard, fairly good. Steering wheel just feels really nice with the stitching here. The only thing I don't really care for is, like, I like having the visibility of Super Cruise up here, but it's this plastic bit. And as I'm like sometimes turning the steering wheel and like letting the steering wheel, like, turn back to its normal position, I hit that and it just feels a little bit different, but minor pick. Otherwise, everything is just really cool. I think we got to do something while we're here.
Yeah, we are in the perfect spot. They have a lot of overflow parking. There's a ton of room, so we got a crab walk down here.
We got a crab walk. It's the coolest thing. It's the first thing we did. I'm gonna have to show you guys a crab walk. Do you want to do it inside or outside?
Both.
Okay,
bye. Slight interlude.
Yeah, bonus coverage. We can have some deer. We're at the safari park.
They're just chilling in the parking lot.
It's like a family.
Yeah.
Very cool.
That's so cool.
Okay, back to the Hummer.
No. All right, I am going all the way down. This is the perfect spot. I feel like I shouldn't say that because, like, now you other guys will know to come to the Safari Park Zoo in San Diego for your crab walking and all that. Anyways, I'm going to go all the way down. Patrick is going to pull the Hummer out, and it's just such a silly thing. Okay, let's see how it looks. By the by, do you see that balloon over there? So at the safari park, there's a balloon that you can take and go all the way up and see the entire park. Apparently it's $20. Never actually been here, but obviously I looked into all the fun things you can do.
Okay, I'm going to get into position to do the crab walk. And the turning radius, again, I could really whip it and show you, but let me just go ahead and get into position so that Liv can film the crab walk. Straighten everything out. Down here is the mode button. Let me go ahead and record that with this one. So I hit the button and it starts going into crab walk mode. Now I'm in crab walk mode, and now I just drive and I turn the steering wheel.
Okay, he's crab walking. Oh my God.
And it goes
That looks so silly.
at an angle sideways. It's the craziest feeling.
Oh my gosh.
And then now we can go like
That looks so ridiculous.
and go like that. It's so crazy and fun. I love it so much. And then she doesn't know I'm going to do this, but I'm going to take it out of crab walk mode and I'm going to spin around. Oh, she has some input.
That looks so ridiculous. Give me my phone. I'm going to capture it close up too.
Okay.
You want to go around again?
Okay, I'm going to do a very sharp U-turn and then I'm going to go down and do the exact same thing.
Okay, great.
Okay, so she wants me to do it again. So I'm going to do a U-turn and just show you. I'm going to crank it. Not great for the tires to do this, but we want to demo like how crazy this thing is. Apparently the U-turning or turn radius is about the same as the Chevy Bolt, if you can believe that. So anyways, let me go down here. I'm going to do that U-turn again, and I'm going to go down even a little bit further before we start this crab walk. So let me just turn. Look at that. Crazy how much of a U-turn this thing can do. All right, now we're going to straighten it back up. Going to put the brake on, going to hit crab walk. And there we go. We're in crab walk mode.
I honestly don't know what the use case is for this, but it's just so funny. It's so funny.
And I'm sort of trying to angle it just so I just come just right to her.
Diagonally coming at me. That's bonkers.
If anybody has a practical reason for this, let me know.
That is so bonkers.
Isn't it great?
It just looks so weird. Like that should not happen.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and turn everything off.
Okay.
Bonus coverage. We have our adapter that we have for the Mustang Mach-E that we own, but we're at a Tesla Supercharger. I don't know if this is going to work. They have access, but I don't know if this one has been updated or anything like that. The truck, I mean. So let's see, 5B, start charging. And activating it via the Tesla app.
And you put it in one-handed.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then, let's see. I heard it lock in. It's a blue light. Initiating charge.
And flashed. Oh, it's flashing green.
Flashing green. It still says initiating charge in the Tesla app. It looks like it's charging. I'll take a screenshot up. Yep, it's spinning up.
It's charging.
So I wasn't sure if this is going to work because GM vehicles now have supercharger access. Some Bolts have to go into the dealer to get the update. But what I've heard is somebody said that like you have to order the adapter before it enables access in the actual vehicle. I don't know. We don't have one, so just trying it out. It's charging at 144 kilowatts. I thought it might go up higher than that. This thing can charge at like 300 kilowatts.
What are we at?
EA 350. We're at 145 kilowatts right here.
No, what's our battery percentage?
Oh, battery percentage is 21%. Good point.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're going to just charge it up enough. We're not going to do any charging tests. They're going to pick this up tomorrow, so this is our last day with it, but I don't want to leave them with like no charge at all. But yeah, very cool. Another brand having access to the Supercharger network. If you don't know, we have Ford, Rivian, GM products, and then Volvo and Polestar just got it a couple of days ago. So pretty cool. And we'll just keep watching this. It should be able to maintain this like 145, 146 for a long time because this this truck is able to do up to 300 kilowatts. So it should not be limited by the truck. Maybe the adapter or the supercharger might limit it at some point. We're at 147 kilowatts. Now, I couldn't get it to precondition on the way over here, we were navigating to an EA station. It was going to precondition for that, but not the supercharger. And it's probably because, you know, like I'd have to set that I have the adapter. Again, not completely familiar with the software and the setup here, but it is what it is. And glad that we're charging and glad that they have this supercharger access.
And we could have potentially used the charger on the end.
Oh, yeah.
But it's down, it's broken, so we could have parked on the other side perhaps. But I'm glad we're here because the Tesla charging stalls are on the end. The Electrify America that we went to was full, and as we were there, as we pulled up, a Polestar pulled up, so but the stalls were on the sides of the vehicle, which in this case, with this big chunker, was like,
well, look how far over the line I am.
Yeah.
And I sort of did that. One, I was going to readjust, but then I realized this one is down. So might as well take up this spot because nobody can charge there anyways. But yeah, I would have hated to have, even just for me to get out at the EA station, but for me to get out and Liv to get out.
That wouldn't happen. And I honestly don't know how you would have gotten out without dinging it with the ballards and the charger.
And then the final thing is, even though the charge port's in the correct location, the tire being on the back, the alert from the sensors was like going crazy because it was saying I was too close.
Yeah.
But you know, if you get used to backing in, you know you have an extra couple of feet. But if you had like a bike rack or anything like that, superchargers can be difficult.
And this is where it becomes a potential challenge. If you want to get anything from the trunk, the door opens.
You can't open it
outwards. And I wonder if you can manually open it instead of doing that. Can you?
Don't know. I'm not going to try it.
No, absolutely.
Like I think
not.
you can open it and then.
Because like maybe you could open it and like sneak your hand in or something. But I definitely wouldn't want to activate
push it twice, like open, stop. But I would. Yeah, I'd hate to do that and wipe out a charging station.
Yeah, or ding the car. Yeah. Anyways, what are we charging at now out of interest sake?
Yeah, let's see if it's still holding.
Something smells.
Yeah, it's at 148. And we've gotten 9.9 kilowatt hours so far. We're up at 25%. This is a huge battery. It's going to take a while to get up there.
Yeah. Huh.
Oh, well. All right, we'll charge for a few minutes and we'll update you when we're done, but you don't need to watch the whole charging session. I'm getting ready to disconnect. I was hoping we would be at a higher state of charge. We're at 47%. I know you can't really see it on the screen, 48%. But I can see over here, it's charging at 105 kilowatts. So I was hoping it would maintain that 140 something for quite a while, but it's not. So I think we just need to get home, and that should be a good enough amount of range for us to turn it in tomorrow. But 105 kilowatts at 48% state of charge, not that great. So it's probably being limited by either the adapter or the supercharger itself. So anyways, I'm gonna go unplug.
Anyways, that is it. That is our time with the 2025 Hummer EV SUV 3X. Let us know what you thought about this vehicle. I'll tell you, it was a shocker. When we heard that we were going to get this, I was like, us? What? Ridiculous.
We're not their demographic, but
yeah, we're not their demographic. But like the first word I thought was ridiculous, and then the first word I thought when we drove it was ridiculous, but in a good way. You know, it is ridiculous in all the best ways. You know, it's inefficient. You know, it's way bigger than any vehicle necessarily needs to be. But if this is what you're looking for, it's all the best things. It does ridiculousness really well, and personally I'd pick this over a Cybertruck. Like, yeah, equally ridiculous vehicles.
It was just a lot of fun to drive it. It's the $120,000 version. It just sort of just blows my mind that this is as quick as our Mustang Mach-E, 0 to 60 in about 3.5 seconds. We didn't talk a lot about stats. I figure you probably already have the stats from a lot of other places, but this one is about 300 miles of range. I know you can like opt them out, and instead of the tri-motor, I know I was trying to figure out how to lean against.
I'm like gonna sit on the tire because it's like chair height.
But
sorry, carry on.
You can do like a dual motor without the giant off-road tires and get close to 400 miles of range, like maybe 370 or something like that. So if I were going for it, I might go for the cheaper one that's still ridiculous and fun, not as crazy acceleration, but it would still be just a very cool vehicle to have. And the fact that it was more usable than I thought it would be is really cool. There's some little things that I would like to see is like power in the front. And we could figure out a way, if you guys actually have one of these, let us know. Like we could figure out how to keep the power on with the car off. Maybe if I had the app access, I could do that. But like with just the key fob, I didn't want to leave the key fob in the car and it kept on powering off. Anyways, overall, I love this vehicle more than I thought I would.
Yeah.
If you're looking for something like just ridiculous and fun, this is definitely it. We didn't even touch the off-road capabilities, which I'm sure it's very capable. I'm sure you can find a video out there. We're not going to try to pretend we are off-roaders and go do that. We'd probably go to just like a dirt road and be like, ooh, look at how great it does off-road, and everybody would make fun of us. So we're not going to do that.
And maybe if you want this vehicle, let us know down below, because maybe you don't want to off-road it. Maybe you just want something ridiculous and fun and silly. We know someone who's a realtor and she has a pink one, ice Hummer, but like, she's not off-roading it or doing anything like that. So this car is ridiculous. And the only thing that I caution you,
We need another word, brother.
That's just what we're going to call it. We're calling it Riddy because it's ridiculous. Okay, done. So, my only caution is don't get this if you're a wallflower. Don't get this EV if you don't want to talk to people or have people stare at you, because it was shocking to me how many people looked at this vehicle. And we've been in all kinds of EVs, and this was probably the most attention so far. Literally driving around the street. And some of it is really, I think that people look at it and they say, ridiculous, right? Like they look at it and they're like, that's so big and silly.
Yeah.
Like you can see that on their face, which is kind of fun. It's a big, silly beast.
It put a smile on my face. Really liked it. Really enjoyed our time. Hopefully you really enjoyed this video. We just had a bit of fun, craziness with it.
A lot of fun.
And maybe we'll put a link to some of our Halloween photos, because we had a lot. I know we put a little B-roll, but we had a lot more fun with it, and it was really great. By the way, one of the front retreats, I don't know if we mentioned, was at Rove Charging. Check out our video on that. It's a new charging center in Santa Ana, California. 40 stalls, has a very nice lounge, has a Gelson's upscale market, has security, very cool charging. Hopefully a lot more of those type of things are coming. But if you haven't heard of Rove Charging, check them out. Hopefully there will be spreading throughout Southern California and then the US.
And hopefully we have another video out already with it, because we did their grand opening.
Yeah, we have so many videos.
But we might have a separate video, the Haunted Hummer. Because we had this over Halloween, even if it's short, I don't know. We'll see.
We'll just
or we put it all in here.
Let's just finish this. I want to go to the zoo and see some
deer. Yeah. Thank you so much for joining us for this video, in which we checked out the 2025 Hummer SUV 3X, Hummer EV SUV 3X. Do let us know your thoughts and feelings down below. I'm like, are you opening the front?
I was trying. I thought it was going to be slick and fun, but...
While my arm's on it, rude. It'd be cool if the car could like, mark, thank you for watching.
Yeah, no. I'm just going to sit down while you finish.
Oh, fine. How easy is that to get into? Because the lightning's... I love that that's on camera. Like, we were doing a blooper reel at one point, weren't we? Good job. Elegant. Casual. Let us know 10 out of 10 from the judges for his on-mount. What's your dismount?
My dismount is easier. No.
Huge thank you to our patrons for supporting us on Patreon. If you are interested in supporting us on Patreon too, thank you. Come on over, check it out in the description below. Also, thank you to our YouTube members. You will know them by the lightning bolts next to their name. The more lines they have, the longer they've supported us. We appreciate you guys so much, and we truly appreciate you for watching. If you do not have a Hummer, you can check out a lot of our other videos with other EVs, and also check out the Mustang Mach-E Club of America that we run. And
that's it.
On that note,
let's go see a giraffe.
Let's go see a giraffe. What's your favorite animal at the zoo? Leave an emoji of your favorite animal down below. And just remember that whatever you drive, whether it's ridiculous or not, enjoy the ride.
Bye.